Immersion was great because it gave me exactly what I needed. I could have my tablet up with the video, follow along on the computer, and it made it streamlined. So I could get where I wanted to be without all of the trial and error. Because when I was thinking surface pattern design, I was thinking the pattern portion, the fabric, the wrapping paper, the wallpaper, etc. But it's like, oh wait, they also use art and illustrations on things. And so even though with immersion, there was definitely the learning illustrator aspect, there was the pitching your art aspect. And I realized, oh my gosh, I have all of this art that I can also pitch. And that
Wow.
has been definitely an eye-opener too. Like, wow, I don't just have to go to galleries and art shows. I can find companies because there are companies that's where you get your art prints. Like you go to Home Goods and there's that whole section of printed art. Like, or even on like notebooks, they don't have to be a repeating pattern. Sometimes it's one large illustration. So that
Yeah.
the art pitching part was definitely where I merged the two.
Hi, everyone. I'm here with Valerie Englehart. Hi, Valerie.
Hi, Bonnie.
So excited to talk to you today. Absolutely adore your work and what you've been able to accomplish. It's going to be so good. Will you start by just telling us a little bit more about who you are, your family, where you live?
So I am Valerie. I live in the Seattle area, just a little north. So I'm on the shore of Puget Sound. I have a husband, I have a teenage son, and a little girl who's 3 years old, and two cats who definitely get into everything. And in addition to doing surface pattern design, which of course I really got into through immersion, I'm also a watercolor artist with a focus on fine art and am a member of like the Northwest Watercolor Society and have shown in galleries in the region.
You took immersion in 2023, which means you probably had a 2-year-old when you took it.
Yeah, she was about to turn 2 when I started, like on the cusp. So I had a rambunctious toddler.
Yes.
I've been for years a watercolor artist and I love it. It is part of my soul. But with the little toddler and baby who always needed me around, and I, with physical art, letting it dry, I can't start and stop so easily. So I finally, after years of avoiding it, I got an iPad and started doing some digital art and putting it online and realizing, oh, I could make my art on so many more things because I'm also a sewer. I enjoy quilting in my spare time. And was like, oh my gosh, I could do that. But I only had Procreate. And it is a great program, but it's not really adept for creating patterns very easily. And so it was one of those things where my degree is in fashion design. So I had taken one class on surface pattern design. And so as I'm doing this art on my tablet, got my baby with me doing her own art, I was like, I want to do more. I want to take this further. And Instagram somehow knew what I wanted and was very good at targeting me.
Amazing. I love Instagram.
They are good.
When people typically, when they take immersion, it's kind of like this moment where they decide to embark on the next goal or the next dream that they have. Is that true for you? And if so, what was that big goal?
I would say it was true, definitely. I think the goal was for me, I am an industrious person. I love keeping myself busy, but not busy for the sake of busy. I love having a goal to work towards. And as
Mm.
much as I love being a mom and being with my kids, I definitely felt like a part of my identity was missing. And so this was a way of like, oh, I can get back to something I like, but I can create a goal for myself of starting a business, of being a designer, of seeing my art out in the world and showing the people in my life, like, look at what I can do and look at what's possible. Immersion was great because it gave me exactly what I needed. I could have my tablet up with the video, follow along on the computer, and it made it streamlined so I could get where I wanted to be without all of the trial and error. Because when I was thinking surface pattern design, I was thinking the pattern portion, the fabric, the wrapping paper, the wallpaper, etc. But it's like, oh wait, they also use art and illustrations on things. And
Mm.
so even though with immersion, there was definitely the learning illustrator aspect, there was the pitching your art aspect. And I realized, oh my gosh, I have all of this art that I can also pitch. And that
Wow.
has been definitely an eye opener too. Like, wow, I don't just have to go to galleries and art shows. I can find companies because there are companies that's where you get your art prints. Like, you go to Home Goods and there's that whole section of printed art. Like, or even on like notebooks, they don't have to be a repeating pattern. Sometimes it's one large illustration. So that
Yeah.
the art pitching part was definitely where I merged the two.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. You did. You had so much work already. So talk to me about what has happened for you. I feel like you've done so much in under 2 years. Tell me some of the business successes, things that you've seen come to fruition.
Through the goal that you had set, the map that you had
Mhm.
created with like you're in bud stage, the florist stage, etc. My end goal for that segment was to just get licensed. And the reward was we're going to go to San Diego on a family trip. Pitching and pitching and pitching, and I was getting responses and maybes, but no yes. And so I went, okay, universe, this is happening one way or the other. I went ahead and booked the trip without having it done, but I'm like, well, now I have to. Now it has to come to fruition somehow. And it actually did. I got my first license for two designs with natural roots fabric. That was just, even my husband was like just so proud, like, oh my gosh, you did it. And then what's funny, so we go on the San Diego trip. And I go ahead and bring my laptop because I have a toddler, she needs naps. And so I thought, just during nap time, I have it. And on Instagram, I saw that Funky Paper Co., a wallpaper company, was like, call for art. I want to have some artists. And I went, good thing I brought my laptop, whisked it away. And during my San Diego trip, I got licensed for wallpaper.
Stop it.
And even better for me was so during immersion, I made my first collection. It was inspired by my garden, and I titled it Goat Trail Garden because I live in a neighborhood called Goat Trail. And I was so surprised that no one had picked it up because that collection was so beautiful and near and dear to me. Well, Caroline at Funky Paper Co. really liked it. So she took like almost every design in the first colorway. And I was just like, yes, somebody finally gets it and loves it. Yes.
Oh my goodness. That is so fun. Okay, so you also have a Etsy shop. Talk
Yes.
to me about what you're doing with your Etsy shop. I love it.
Well, there's a whole audience that's on Etsy that doesn't know about me. They have their own built-in audience. So
Yeah.
let's see if I can try drop shipping. And so it was one of those goals I set for myself early this year where I started in Q1 and said, by the beginning of Q2, I'm going to launch. And so
Mm.
I had to then kind of write up a business plan. What were my brand colors going to be? Did I want it to be my name or did I want something separate? And I decided to do something separate. Um, for a few reasons and got the paperwork done. And it was quite a thing because I wanted to get, oh, at the time, I think I wanted to get like 80 designs up and
Wow.
getting everything up and formatted with copywritten. It was a lot, but now that it's up there, I just have to maintain it and it's pretty great. And sometimes the designs that people do pick are ones that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you picked that, but cool.
And you also have a like prolific spoonflower shop, right? You have over 1,000 designs in your spoonflower shop.
Yes, I've made it up to about 1,300, I think, at this point. And while some of them are recolors, and I love Illustrator for those recolors. Oh,
I
my
know.
daughter loves to sit on my lap and push. She's like, can I change the colors? And I'm like, yes, you can. You go.
Is it so fun? You ever dream in like the recolor artwork tool?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
really that thing. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And sometimes it's so unexpected too, where I'm just like, I never would have put that combination together on my own. But oh my
Right.
God, that is great. Save that one.
What has this meant for you emotionally or in your life, your lifestyle?
Emotionally, it has given me something to be driven about.
Mm.
I'm someone who needs something to focus on, but I don't want someone to assign that for me. I have to assign it. So having this, it's also allowed me to put myself out there more. So for example, like sending that first pitch email, oh my God, oh my heart, it was so hard. Like rereading it like 20 times, going to push that. It was like, oh, but now doing it scared, doing it even though it is uncomfortable, because the more you do it, it just gets easier. Now it's like, oh, okay, time to reach out. Oh, time to do a follow-up. Here we go.
Yeah.
And it's just part of the process. So I guess it has, in intangible ways, increased my confidence. I
Mm.
love that I can get my kids involved. Both of them love this design I made of little ducks. Um, and I've got it over here.
Show
My
it to me.
son wanted a button-down shirt, so I made one for him, and my daughter has this
Oh,
dress
how
with
cute. Oh my
my
goodness.
little puddle ducks.
I
And
love
she
this.
loves it. And everywhere we go, they're like, oh my gosh, we love the duck dress. I'm like, I know, I do too. But so I like that it gets my kids involved with me and that they like it too. I've got to say, one of the best things that, like, I guess fills me up intangibly is I've also started a YouTube channel, for instance, to help people paint, to try and inspire them. And when I get a message from someone about my art that they're like, I have been having an art block and this has inspired me to try it, I'm just like,
Wow.
oh my gosh. Yes, yes, paint. Yes, get on your computer and make something, make anything. And to hear that I might have helped just get them started, that
Yeah.
really fills me. There's
Mm,
a fear of, well, what if I put something out there and they hate me? What if they say mean things? And well, what if they tear me apart? Most people really aren't like that, especially if you're in the artist community. People really do want to see you succeed. They do want to lift you up. And
mm,
so that would be my encouragement, would be to, even though it's hard, put yourself out there, see where you can go, because
mm.
I know you can.
Super powerful. Valerie, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. And I can't wait to see what you do next.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was great.